A lot of people are turning their backs on the Democrats. I wonder why that is happening these days. But check this one out. This was Chicago.
A Chicago City Council meeting was raw and real. Residents tore into city leaders over the 35,000 illegal immigrants who have poured into Chicago, and the city is on a spending spree for those people who broke our laws to get here. Critics are accusing the city of prioritizing border crossers over minority communities in particular.
Get them out of our communities because they don't deserve to be there.
Downtown has 3 to 4 illegal families on every block begging for work and selling Kit Kat bars after $1 billion was spent on them. Where is that money? Where is the money for the South Side and the West Side communities? Not another dollar for the illegals. If the crisis is so bad, the city council members who are so concerned should donate their salaries to the cause like a real public servant should.
That's from a recent, yesterday it was breaking live during the...
I brought that video to the channel. Feel free to go check it out. The people of Chicago were expressing their outrage to the governor, but they were expressing their outrage. In that video, I thought he was going to respond, but I didn't hear any response to those issues they raised.
This hour, that's from that city council meeting, and we couldn't see everybody, but we played it for you anyway. Now we have so much more of it to play. Illinois has spent more than $1 billion of Chicago tax money already on the people who are there. So the Illinois governor thinks he has the answer to it all. He's blaming Texas.
Abbott willfully planned the arrival of these individuals in locations and at times that would engender the maximum chaos for the city of Chicago. Think about that the next time a politician from Texas wants to lecture you about being a good Christian. They shouldn't leave it to the governor of Texas, who has no goal but to sow chaos and destruction.
Kata Truss has lived in Chicago her entire life. Kata, how bad is it?
Tell us.
It's really bad. And the sentiment of most of Chicago is that of the young lady, one of the young ladies that you heard, Jessica. The sentiment of Chicagoans is the same. And I just listened to the soundbite with Governor Pritzker, who wants to blame Governor Abbott. But I think that we have to be realistic in thinking about what the state of Texas was going through before they began busing migrants here. And I don't think we really think about that. So we're looking at it now as Chicagoans receiving migrants from the state of Texas. But imagine what it must be like in that state of Texas on a daily basis where people are arriving. Our president, President Biden, has not done enough. He has not done enough to secure the borders. He has not done enough to go in and propose some legislation that he can push forth himself to change this situation. And I'm telling you, we're so angry here in Chicago, which has been a Democratic stronghold for most of its eternity. This year, we're working to turn Chicago red. We are so angry with Pritzker and with President Biden and with our mayor that we have decided that we're going to vote Republican this time around. Wow. That's just how angry we are. We are so angry.
This also expresses, it reemphasizes my point that, again, it's not about Trump or Biden. It's about the policies and what the people want right now. You know, it's not about the face. Don't get it twisted. It's not about the face. These people are experiencing this thing and they want it to stop. And with the Trump policy, the package was in there. So that's the package they want right now. That's it.
Angry that we are willing and going to turn our backs on the Democratic Party. I sat in some of those city council meetings and I looked at and I watched the aldermen totally disregard the voices of the people. And when I was going down there, we were coming down every week in the hundreds. And what we said did not matter. And when we were talking about changing Chicago's status as a sanctuary city, and keep in mind, we still have a right to do that. Just like Biden has the right to put forth an executive order to change the crisis at the border, Chicago's mayor has the right to put forth an executive order to change Chicago's sanctuary city.
Will he do it?
Of course he will not do it. If he was going to do it, it would have been done. And remember, there was a vote within City Council where the ordinance to change it was struck down. And the mayor was the deciding vote.
Okay, so I want to play just a little bit. It's actually a clip from your Democratic Mayor, Brandon Johnson, just after that City Council meeting yesterday that got pretty chippy. And at the end of the day, he is the one you are counting on in all of this, as you just said. It's his vote. It's his, in those meetings, it's his voice. It's his leadership that matters. Let's watch.
We're grateful that the state and the county is working towards providing more investments, even though we have to have a more substantive conversation about where those dollars will actually go.
So I just have one question. Chicago had a choice after Lori Lightfoot, who was breaking COVID protocols to go get her hair done and all sorts of things. They didn't have to go farther left with Brandon Johnson. Why did you vote for him?
I voted for Brandon Johnson because I knew him. I voted for Brandon Johnson because I thought that he would be good for Chicago. I voted for Brandon Johnson because really I didn't do my homework. Because had I done my homework and paid attention to the alliances and who he was with and who groomed him, I would have known better and I would have voted differently. And that brings me to the challenge of really standing up and not just saying to Chicagoans or Illinoisans, but to all voters in this country, it is time for us to stand up and to vote our self-interest. We vote along party lines, especially as African Americans, and that needs to change. We need to start voting for people who are going to promote our self-interest. And that may not be a Democrat, and it may not be a Republican. It may be an independent candidate. It may be a Green Party candidate. But I think that now we have come to a point in this country where we have to stop marrying ourselves to party, stop voting along ethnic lines, because we're seeing that that is not working for us.
This is a very powerful message too. Like, this applies, all I can think of when she's saying it is my country, because we voted the president. A lot of people, their reason for voting was because the person is from the same ethnicity as them. That's why they voted. So this is not just for America. It's for like everybody listening. Vote for your self-interest.
Stop marrying ourselves to party.
Right.
Stop voting along ethnic lines, because we're seeing that that is not working for us. And so that is why I will be voting Republican for the first time.
Wow, that is a lot. That's a lot of change. And it only took 3 years with one president to undo what you said,
Probably
lifetime
took 1 month.
Democratic voting in Chicago, at least for you.
Because it seems he's been going crazy the past month
if Republicans
or
were to
months.
see you this election cycle and talk about this issue on the ground in Chicago?
I think the Republicans need to come and see us. I think they need to come and talk to us, because let me just say this, that the Republican Party has not been spotless, and there are certainly some issues that we would love to discuss with them that I think that we can have some common ground on.
Okay.
I think that we can agree to be disagreeable on some issues, but yes, this is the perfect time for the Republican Party to come into the city of Chicago, the state of Illinois, and sit down and talk to the people, because we are looking for change.
Carter Truss, God bless you. Thank you so much. You put a lot on a lot of people's minds today. And I wish you well in Chicago. I know you're dealing with a lot of citizens there. Thank you.
Thank you.
Yes, that was good. We're hearing that more and more and more and more and more and more. Many people coming out to openly say, I'm voting Republican. And it's not, in fact, it looks like a lot more black people are coming out to say that than white people. White people had already said it, but black people are now realizing and now coming out to say it. That was an interesting point. Feel free to let me know your thoughts on her views. I thought she was spot on. You know, again, vote your self-interest. It's not even about Trump. I don't even think she mentioned Trump at all in any context, Trump or Biden. No. She just spoke about the horrors they're experiencing, and she spoke about why she's voting for what she's voting for, because the package is in the red, according to what she believes right now. So yeah, let me know what you think about that. Share your thoughts, smash the like button, subscribe, and I'll see you on the next one. Peace.